Hey everyone, John on live, and caught my story this morning. The purpose of the live is to talk about the difference between neurological adaptation and hypertrophic adaptation, so mind over muscle adaptation basically. So the reason I want to talk about this is I've gone through a training block on my bench press. So I was working up from 100. So yeah, going up from 100 to 110 kg on a pause bench press. Awesome. Rubbish connection keeps cutting in and out. So start again. So going up from 100 to 110 kg, 5 for 5 on a paused bench press. Got to the end of that training block. So now I want to measure what my 1 rep max is. So I haven't done that for months, ages and ages. And I think last time it was paused, it was 130 kg. So I'm going to talk about that today and what I'll be going through, what I'll be feeling, because there are differences in adaptation, and you'll find that you'll get under a weight, and your muscular capacity to handle the weight's fine, but it will initially, if you haven't 1 rep max for ages, it'll feel a bit wobbly and a bit weird. And that's basically because although you've got the hypertrophic adaptation to handle the weight, neurologically you haven't, because you just haven't been under a heavy weight to do a 1 rep max before. And so there needs to be some training there as well. And that's really fundamentally the difference. So I'm going to hit this warm-up set and just go for warm-ups now. So this is 100 kg, so just going to do today 4 knees, and then we're going to go up from there and work our way up and see where we get to basically. So what we're going to go up to next, 110 for 2. So yes, what you'll find is you'll be a bit wobbly because you're not used to handling the weight. And that's fine. So there's a rough idea. Bench press is a really good way of doing this, because it's probably one of the few movements where you're under the bar, you're holding it, and you can really feel the weight of it. Obviously with squat you can on your back, but there's quite a lot of structure that's supporting that with a bench press. You're very much isolated. So it's a good way and a good barometer to understand how you need to the different feelings between the two. So to give you an idea, for bench press at least, roughly rule of thumb, if you can rep, say 100 kilos for 10 to 12, you should be able to do a single at 140. It's not always the case, but you should be able to. But what you'd find if you say you worked up and you built up, and over a period of 3 or 4 months, you got your 100 kg up to sort of 10, 12 reps, and then you went, right, I'm going to go for that 140 max, your muscles will be able to do it. You've got the strength, you've got the hypertrophic adaptation within your muscle tissue to make that weight, but you may fail. And that's because from a neurological standpoint, your CNS isn't used to that happening. It's just going, whoa, what's going on here? It's got no idea what's going on. And you'll hold the weight, oh my God, that feels really, really heavy. And you may hit or miss, but you'll find the next week when you try it, you'll hit it. And that's not a muscular adaptation, that's up here, that's this adaptation. Another way to look at it is if you're doing working sets, usually with me at least, my second and third sets always feel better than the first one, because the first one's the working load. It's, the capacity's there. I'm probably fresher, and it's nothing to do with warming up the muscle. It's warming up this. it's the central nervous system. That's what it's down to, basically. See, the first set for me is almost just right, getting into the groove, getting to the feel of it, and at that point the body knows and the brain knows, right, I know what's going on, the connections are kind of there, I've got an idea of the feel of it, then bang, off you go. It's like when you trek the CNS and you're doing like a working load of say 100 kilos, but you do like 1 or 2 reps at 110 and then drop back down, and then it feels easy because you've tricked the CNS, the central nervous system. Right, so on to the next one. 2 reps here, and the plan is, as I go up, I'll sort of tell you how I'm feeling and how it feels under me, or over me rather. So that's my usual, that's my usual working set, 5x5, which you've done there. And that, that feels heavy, but it's fine, no problem. So we got to 120. A bit shifting, won't get the other red out, don't need that. It looks good, but I can't be bothered. It's 110, 120, so we're going to go in singles now, jumps of 10. So go up to 120, go up to 130, and then we judge where we are from there. So 130 is the marker, that's the benchmark I'd like to hit. And really, anything past that is a bonus. So I've been sort of practicing 1 rep maxes for a few weeks, and I would see a bit of progression anyway, but that's not the object of this exercise. So yes, that's 120. So hopefully I want to hit 135. If I could hit 140, that'd be awesome, but I'd be surprised. It'd be a big jump up, considering I haven't done a 1 rep max. Must be 4 months, I would say, roughly. You're probably thinking, what's the point? Is it an ego thing? So I'm just checking time intervals. It's not. It's good to train that way sometimes. It's just hitting a different system, and it's good to sort of test that. 1 rep max, obviously that could be touch and go. Realistically, probably doubles and triples are better. 5 rep max overall is probably the best barometer, and from that you can then judge your other set and rep schemes and weights and loading weights and working sort of weight for different schemes based on that. You can't really base it on the 1 rep because it's so hit and miss, whereas a 5 rep, typically even a 3, you can sort of repeat that week after week in theory unless you're burnt out. But yeah, so some people are always a bit iffy about 1 rep max. For me on the bench press, I'm not bothered about that. I can kind of tell if I was squatting, maybe not. On the deadlift, not so much. It's that's not the end of the world. Again, things like standing press, I wouldn't want to do it. But yeah, for bench, I'm naturally quite a good bencher anyway, so it doesn't really bother me too much. So I do it from that standpoint. Also, what you may or may not know about me is I have a detached tricep here. My right long head tricep is not there. So I have no tricep here, this long head. Detached about 7 or 8 years ago on a bike accident, of all things, nothing to do with training. So I like to now and again just hit big weight, big numbers, and just for this, really, just to see where I am and just keep everything else around it kind of strong. So it's that barometer as well. I used to bench a lot more than this before that happened, but obviously that's a big limiting factor now. So there's that as well. It's just a bit of both. It's just good to see where you are, really, I think. So it's just testing different muscular systems, different neurological as well. So this will probably start to feel a bit heavy and shaky, even though it's the weight isn't the problem, it's the neuro side of it. So we go up. So that went up all right. But yeah, it feels heavy-ish. I mean, it's heavy anyway, but it's yeah. That's not from muscle, perspective. That's from the neurological. That's not a bad thing though, because what you'll find generally, as a rule, you'll find that neurological adaptions happen quicker than hypertrophic. So, so you'll find, say, if I was doing this for 3 weeks, this week obviously would feel a bit iffy. By week 3, it'd be pretty smooth. And that's not because I'm getting more musculature, or I'm getting stronger. Because I'm not building any more muscle doing this. This isn't, hypertrophy at any point. I've already got that muscular potential. So say today I max at 135. My muscular potential may be 140. But because I'm deficient from the neurological standpoint, I need adaptation from there. I'm being held back. So over 3 weeks, I'll probably put on that 5 kilos through neurological adaptation. Now, if I was going to try and do that from a hypertrophic adaptation, from muscle building, it would take far longer. That could be a point in my training, that could be 20 weeks, 30 weeks, longer to do that. So those are the subtleties you've got to realise. So you probably find by like week 4, that adaptation's gone, it's finished, and that's your sticking point. Then you have to start over and do something else again. So with like heavy singles, triples, and again, people talk about like CNS burnout and things like that, or you're doing like Olympic lifts and you try and do a 1 rep max, you fail it, and you take all the rest of the world and you never hit it again, and it's because your CNS neurologically why you're just gone. You just need to walk away from it, try again next time. And those are the subtleties really. So it's a thing, it's a neurological, is a thing that can be adapted very, but it's also something that can be taken away very quickly as well, if you're not careful. So right, so this is 130 for a single. It's time rest. We're going to go for that, see how we are, and this is kind of our measure really. So hopefully we're all good. So in terms of grip, thumbs on the nail, don't take a full grip, I'll take a pinch, top of the bar, a little bit of an arch, to be under it a bit more. Too bad. Form was a bit not brilliant on that. Could be a lot smoother. It was a bit, forward and back. I didn't really get under the bar properly. So we're going to go 135 now. So this will be a good test of where we are. Big swig of water. So yes, so I might do this for a week or 2, and then in terms of training block after that, I don't really know where I'm going to go yet. I'm looking to, so I press twice, well, I bench flat press twice a week. I do a close grip as well. So those have both come to the end of training blocks. So I'm going to do, for the close grip, like I do on Fridays, I'm going to change that up to a floor press for a while. And then what I might do, well, I'm talking about pressing, so standing press twice a week instead of once, and then just do a horizontal press, like a bench press once a week. So I might just exclusively floor press for a while, and then press twice a week. So it'd be a strict press, as I've been doing at the moment, and then I'll probably do a behind neck, like a snatch push press, mainly for mobility, to help with my upper back mobility for snatches. So like a snatch push press up. So that might be a thing to do. And yeah, just play around with different ways of training rather than just the standard kind of strength training. Nothing wrong with it, but it's good to experiment and play around. I might do a week of kind of almost like EMOM training on my current program. So just 3 lifts in 3 minutes, 10 sets, 30 minutes, done. Do that for 2 or 3 weeks, then go back to this sort of training for a week and see how it goes, and back round again. Another minute or so rest and we'll hit it. Yeah, so just different ways of training, and again, it's just hitting different in energy systems in different ways. There's nothing, you can train in so many different ways. It doesn't have to always be linear progression. It doesn't have to always be the heaviest you can do. And again, there's different ways of making progression. It might be an extra rep, it might be an extra set, it might be an extra half a kilo, it might be you took a less rest time, it might be you didn't eat as much food. It could be anything. You should try and come out of the back of every session with some form of measurable progression, even if it's a bad one. There's probably some positive in that session. If there wasn't at all and it just completely fell on its arse, then it's either you just chalk it down to a bad day, or you think, well, maybe your head wasn't in it and maybe you should have taken the day off. Or you just burnt out and you kind of need to readdress where you are. So 1:35. We're going to crack on with it and see how we go. Hopefully we get slightly better form than the last one. Get under the bar a bit better this time. There we go. That's better. Heavy, much better form though. Drive was good. I'm going to try 140, I think. Yeah. Actually, going with the yellow. What's time? Right. Let's figure out the resting time. Yeah, that didn't feel too bad actually. At all. And we still need the rest, even though it's a 1 rep. It's still good to get the rest in, really. Let's pause that music. So although I'm not physically fatigued, although my heart rate's still quite high, there's the mental fatigue that comes in as well, the CNS fatigue that I mentioned, and that's all to do with intensity. So there's 2 things: there's intensity and volume, and people often get them quite confused. They'll say, "Oh, I hit a set of 12 reps or 15 reps at heavy weight, and it felt really intense. Intensity was high." And it's not. There's high volume, but intensity is all about like 1 rep maxes. Maximum effort, that's what intensity is. So people get very, very confused, and they can burn themselves out massively by doing that, because they try and hit the 2 together. They go loads of volume, loads of intensity. You're just going to do yourself in. You're just going to burn yourself out. So you've got to kind of blend them a little bit. So that's why when you're strength training, 5x5 is really good, because it's got the volume in there. You've got like 25 working reps, but the rep scheme's quite low. That also you get a good blend of volume. And you can structure workouts like that, or you can structure workouts where you have sort of high intensity, low volume to start with, and then medium, and then you finish off with low intensity, high volume. So that could be a session, say you do like high like box jumps, plyo box jumps, you know, just high box jumps, simple as that, single rep, and that's high intensity, and you do a few sets of those, and then you could work to like a standing press, which would be like a 3x5 or a 5x5, and that's your kind of middle ground of intensity and volume. And then you do some accessory work, so it could be like a close grip bench press, something like that, and then you work to like 6x4 or 3x8. It could be dips, body weight dips, it could be some pull-ups, body weight pull-ups again, but you're keeping that rep range higher, and you're just basically going for the volume. So that's, you're kind of not hitting or burning out one specific energy system to the max. You're blending the two, but to kind of try and smash everything out in one session, go, right, I'm going to do loads of intensity, then I'm going to do loads and loads and loads of volume, it's you're just doing yourself in. So yeah, I would kind of advise massively against doing that. Right, so we're going to go for 140. Hopefully we don't fail. Said 135 felt okay. Slightly nervous on this, but I think, well, I wouldn't attempt it. I didn't think I could do it. It might be a grind. Right, here we go. Yeah, it's a grind, but we did it. That's it, 140. So I'm quite pleased with that. There's no way I'm doing anything more than that. Absolutely not. And then yeah, after that, after this, you could do some back offsets. So I could turn around and do, okay, well, I'm going to drop the weight down to like 100 kg and do like a back offset or two, or probably a bit less than that, maybe 80, something like that. I might just do one. I might just back it off to, where are we, 140, 100, yeah, we drop it to 80, so it's 70, so there's one on there. Then do a set of 8 or 10 probably. And you could do one or two of those. I'll probably only do one because I'll be pressing on Friday as well. If I was pressing once a week, then yeah, I'll probably do a couple of working off sets back off. But as I'm doing two, one today, one Friday, we'll just stick at 80 and do one set. And then that's workout done really, and that's it. Yeah, nothing too much more to say about it. I'll just catch my breath for a minute, to be honest. Heart rate's at 95, feels higher than that. It's probably the blood pressure. And it's the mental drain of it as well from training like that. So, yeah, as I said, you don't want to keep training like that week after week after week after week. So the 2-3 weeks is plenty, that's enough. Get that adaptation in. So yeah, I mean 140 probably next week. I'd probably squeeze a 142 out, maybe a 145 the week after, and then I'd be done. That'd be it. And that may be it. I may not even hit anything more than that. That'll be literally, you'd be looking at tiny amounts. So yeah, so that was a kind of a practical demonstration really, of the differences between the neurological adaptation, a muscular hypertrophic adaptation. So yeah, the key things, the key takeaways are neurological adaptation happens a hell of a lot quicker, mainly because from a hypertrophic perspective, you need to build the muscle to adapt, and that can take time. That can take sort of 8 weeks, 12 weeks, where from a neurological adaptation standpoint, the argument is, or the reasoning is, you've already got the strength potential in the muscle. It's just the mind, the neurological side of it, that's holding it back from hitting that potential. You need 2-3 weeks of that adaptation for then the neurological side of it to catch up to the peak or the state, or the potential rather, that the muscular is at. And then once those two have kind of caught up and they're on the same page, then that's kind of where you are really. So that's why it's a hell of a lot quicker. But as I said before, with drain and fatigue, it can also fall off a lot quicker as well. And again, you know, you wouldn't have lost strength. There's no way you would just suddenly lose strength overnight. It just wouldn't happen. You know, it could be other factors like dehydration or not enough muscle glycogen in the body. But in terms of the actual potential of the muscle, it just doesn't. The strength just doesn't disappear overnight straight away. And it would generally, it will be the neurological. You're just mentally drained and fatigued, and you just need to kind of stop and reset, and let everything calm down, and then that adaptation will come back in. So that's it really for me. I'm going to do this back off set and then finish off with the rest of my workout. So I've done Zerchers. I'll just be doing some lighter load on snatch, grip, deadlift, because I'm at the bottom of a new wave to go up. And that is it. So nothing more to say. Happy days. 140 hit, which was a good surprise. Pleased with that. So that's a 10 kg gain in 4 months. The last time I hit it. Tumble dry again. So yeah, pleased with that. Catch everybody soon. Take care. Have a good day. Bye bye.